Go.
I think where I sort of cheated in a way, my monologue,
Yeah.
I used a part of my life to do that. I didn't use that entirely.
I mean, I don't think that's cheating.
But
necessarily.
I made it easy for myself
Okay,
to use my own life, and I think maybe that was not a good idea, and I don't think it's a good idea to sort of stick with that, because that's going on. Yeah, it's going off of some bits are actual someone's experience, but I think at the moment, like, I mean, when we did the hot seating, it was getting a bit personal for me, and I was getting
you couldn't separate. That was the difficulty, I think.
Yeah.
We spoke about that. So, is there a way that you could see that scene going forward? For example,
unless I decided to completely change it over and I don't see it going anywhere forward.
Has anybody got any suggestions as how we could look at that scene again? You might want to do that. We might do that now in a minute, before James' lesson. How could we look at that? So, the way we could look at that scene again that we could use to change, to stop it from getting to be about Ross, and use it to develop that into a different, sort of a slightly different story. What do you think? Is there any ways we could do that? Yeah, change it from being about burgers, so it might be that he's bought lots of stuff. So, for example, there are plenty of people who are addicted to eBay.
I'm actually starting to get addicted to eBay.
Yeah, I'm already addicted to eBay. I am beyond hope already. Although I do tend to limit my spending, but I buy lots of stuff, but lots of cheap stuff. Okay.
What do you buy on eBay?
Huh?
What can you buy on eBay?
What can you buy and what can't you buy on eBay? You buy houses on eBay.
Addicted to it, like.
I'll show you.
Addicted to
Okay. All right. I've got a suggestion, and you might want to think about this, guys, in terms of how this is an example of thinking outside the box on something. Okay. What if, for the next 10 minutes, we get Ross to tell the basics of the story again to everybody, and then you all go away and either create a scene or a monologue as if you were that character. So it's not Ross, you're not being Ross, you're just being a person who's been basically kicked out by his family, or has had to move out from his family's home because they've basically blown all the money.
What on our own?
But as a kind of basically taking his idea and doing something different with it. So that we don't, because when Ross has been doing it, Ross's problem is he's been getting caught up in the reality of it. He had an idea that was based on his own experience, but he hasn't been able to separate that. You guys don't have that problem because you weren't there and you weren't as part of that experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Are we doing it on our own or in a group?
I don't know. What do you want? You can either do it as a pair, so you've got one of you's like maybe mum and one of you's the son, or you could do it as a little monologue. Ross?
One is just like, this is sort of going, like when I was doing the monologue, it's just like one of the reasons why I think it should be off is because when every time I do it again, like do the monologue again and again and again, each time I do it, it sort of gets a bit more depressing to do.
Sure, for you, but the point is it becomes more interesting.
But when I do it just feels
that becomes more interesting for us, and B, what I'm suggesting is not doing that monologue, but using that as a starting point to create a different piece of drama, which they can do because they're not connected to it in the same way that you are. What do you think?
Yeah.
You can go and give them help. Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright?